Happy Tuesday, everybody. My name is Jennifer Caius. I am a customer education manager here at Mentor Collective, and we are so excited to bring to you a webinar event today, 5 things your students want you to know. We'll be talking about ways to amplify student insights for informed campus interventions, and I'll be joined shortly by our host, Shannon LeCount, in just 1 second. Before we get started, just a couple quick housekeeping things to keep us all on the same page. So upon entry, your audio is on mute. Your camera, we'd love to have you on. It's so much more fun to chat with you if we can see your face and engage with you directly. But we also know it's lunchtime for some of you, so you might be taking a second to munch on some yummy food, and that's okay as well. If you have any questions, you're welcome to pop them into the chat. We'll be answering them throughout the presentation, but you're also welcome to hold them until the end. We'll have time to answer live. You can come off mute at that point and ask your questions. We'd love for you to introduce yourselves to your peers in the chat. So if you want to drop your name, your school, and where you're located in the chat, we'd love to know where you all are from. And if you like what you hear, don't be afraid to let us know with those emoji reactions. We put a couple up on the screen for you. We'd love to see what you think. Shannon has some rocket ships going off there. We'd love to see your thoughts with emojis. Keep things lively as we go through the presentation. Without further ado, I will introduce my colleague Shannon. Dr. Shannon LeCount has over 20 years of experience promoting academic and student development success in higher ed, and she's currently our Vice President of Strategic Initiatives here at Mentor Collective. So Shannon, thank you so much, and I'll pass it over to you to take us away.
Thanks, Jen. And Patricia, Hank, and Anna, thank you for your cameras. I thrive in an in-person environment, and the fact that you're giving that to me is really sweet. I appreciate it. No judgment of those of you who have to be off camera, but go for the emojis if you can. It helps entertain me. As Jen said, my name is Shannon. I work on strategic initiatives at Mentor Collective, and that means when there's special projects, cohorts of specific schools, or digging into data. That's the kind of thing I get to do. My background is as a faculty member for 8 years at the University of Minnesota in Duluth, and then I worked in institutional effectiveness and institutional research for another 10 years after that. So I love a good project and a good program evaluation. If you're on this call, you're probably somewhere in a conversation on your campus about using mentorship to address student success. If not, we can talk about that afterwards, or you can chat some questions along the way. Just want to let you know that among our partners, the campuses who already work with Mentor Collective to have mentorship programs for the purposes of helping students succeed, we do careful inquiry into making sure that the way the programs are designed, the way we are supporting campuses and the programs that they're delivering actually meet the outcomes or meet the measures of success that are most important to them. Because there are different measures of success we can focus on. What you're looking at right now is data from a survey we gave to our partners asking what sort of outcomes are most important to them. And it probably won't surprise you. Most mentorship programs are intended to foster a sense of belonging among students, whether that be first-year students or students who are transferring. There are a lot of different populations, but that's one of the biggest goals. There's also to have an impact on retention. That's a given. Belonging is a leading indicator of retention, so it's good to focus on those things, and that's a common measurement in all of the student success programs that we help campuses deliver. There's also a big intention to increase use of campus resources, and that can happen in both student success or peer-to-peer type of programs where the resources tend to be tutoring centers and health and wellness centers and other ways for students to engage on campus. We can also help campuses in supporting a career-focused program where there could be alumni or workforce mentors. And in those cases, the resources that students are often steered to are those career services types of offices, all those opportunities that students have to explore their preparedness to move into the workforce. So these might include some of the reasons you're interested in mentorship. There are other reasons that mentorship can be successful, but I just wanted to share those with you. Clearly, if you've looked at Mentor Collective, you'll know that there are results in the area of retention, which is one of the main reasons folks often will partner with us. One thing I want to point out, one thing we're going to address today is that retention is student success at scale, right? If you retain 95% of your students, that's an achievement at scale and an achievement for your campus. Students persist one at a time, though, and so we're going to talk about data that is important, that students are sharing, that's important at scale, and then also ones that you can act on individually, because the actions that happen along a mentorship program can really impact that overall retention number or whatever the student success metric is you're trying to change. Very quickly, if you do or do not, you may know how Mentor Collective works with campuses to deliver programs. If not, this is a one-slide overview of how it works. When Mentor Collective partners with a campus, we will start with design. Who are you starting a mentorship program for, or who are you trying to scale a mentorship program for? Who are the mentees? Who are the mentors? We will help you in recruiting mentors and preparing and training those mentors, and also inviting and engaging the mentees. There is a matching survey using an algorithm to help with personalized matches along the way, and that informs a lot of the data we're going to talk about today. There are campus resources, or there are resources ready and available for the participants, both mentees and mentors, but we can also add campus resources to the library of items that are available to those participants. There's lots of data that's tracked. There's lots of real-time information that you as campuses can use to act, again, at scale or individually. And hopefully this all ends up in an impactful mentorship for both participants, but also informs future strategy and the other things you are doing on campus. There's one other element. In addition to the behavioral data, mentors and mentees interacting, mentors and mentees using discussion or guides or resources, or responding, sending up flags, all of the different things they can do. There's also assessment data that comes in. Again, we can't know if we're fostering belonging if belonging isn't measured. We can't know if we're being effective if there aren't isn't assessment data collected along the way. So there's an element of early insights that are useful for your campus, but also ongoing assessment that happens with the participants throughout the cycle of the mentorship program. So we are going to talk about initially data that comes from the matching process. So both mentors and mentees will respond to a matching survey, and a ton of good information comes in from just that step alone in the mentorship program. And one of the things that students are sharing, right? Everything I'm about to share with you is self-reported, self-provided student data. And it might be the only source of student data, because it's kind of hard to get student perceptions and opinions and information sometimes. And this is one source where you can truly hear it directly from the student's voice. One of the things that shows up over and over is that students have goals. They have goals for themselves, and they have goals for the mentorship program. I told you we dig into data, and over the last 12 months, I checked on the student goals that are showing up among all of the students, the hundreds of thousands, quite honestly, of students who are on our Mentor Collective platform. And right now, in response to my most important goal, so a self goal, are internships, course success, and career options, all things that we would hope for someone either currently in an academic path or starting out their academic career. The way mentorship can help those students is referrals to the services and support that can help them. A peer mentor may not necessarily be able to secure an internship for a student, but career services or an internship office sure can. There are also resources and discussion guides about exploring career options, about what it takes to be successful in courses. So that's another way that this program, a mentorship program specifically, can help students in reaching their own personal goals. And then there are, of course, supplemental campus events, the seminars, the activities, the engagement opportunities that exist. Those also can be communicated, can be encouraged, can be nudged, can be promoted through the mentorship program, or from the peers themselves or the mentors themselves. There's also a question that comes up in the matching survey: what's a goal that you want your mentor to help you with? So just take a minute and think about, these are students saying, I want help with this. And it is not easy for anyone to ask for help on a regular basis, but these are students saying, I want help with these specific things. The top 3 things that are coming up, again, over the last 12 months, we have over 11,000 students saying they want it, their main goal that they want help from their mentor with is course success. That's a academic success is definitely a typical goal that we would be looking for, but they're also being realistic about having a healthy life balance or having wellness and just being involved and having friends. There are a lot of different reasons students may say yes to the mentorship opportunity or the mentorship program that's being offered to them. And this is one way of knowing the various ways students are looking for help by saying yes to the program. Specifically, how can a mentorship program address these goals again? There's personalized matches. We're going to talk a little bit, or I will point out that in the in the matching survey, both mentors and mentees will indicate their self-report of identity, affinity, life experiences, what they're looking for. And the algorithm considers those things. So it's really a personalized match and not a match because of an accident of registration. I'm in a class, and so my mentor is the TA, or I'm a biology major, so my mentor is a biology major. Again, there are different reasons students may want mentors, and a well-designed program can give them those personalized matches. Mentors are able to see students' goals and address them directly. So they're informed about what students are looking for. And then also there's direct messages to key stakeholders. So mentors and mentees can have conversations with each other where flags are raised, right? They might need help with tutoring, or there may be a reason to visit the wellness center. One of the elements of setup in the Mentor Collective program is that you can add email recipients to receive those flags directly. So if a student indicates that they're having trouble financially, that information can go right to the financial aid office. If a student has food or housing insecurity, that information can go directly to the person who's there to help them. So again, those direct messages to direct stakeholders can help students stay well, be involved, have the success that they want to have. There's also a place in the matching survey where we just ask students what they're looking for. And this is an honest answer. This is a real answer from a real program. I want to know how college works. This is a first generation mentee. And as a first generation student myself, I get this. I feel this. And this is such an easy way to intervene, to know that a student is looking for this information and to make sure that their mentor knows this and can talk about how college works, or someone in the office that owns your mentorship program can follow up with the student specifically. This person has asked for help. This person has told you what they need, and it's really easy to give them that information. Let me take just a second and show you where this information is available to you if you're working with Mentor Collective for your mentorship program. There's a partner dashboard that you all, whoever's running the program or whoever you deem should have access to this information, will have access to real-time data. There's all kinds of information that comes into the dashboard, but specifically, excuse me, this goal data is available under a tab called Participant Traits. And this is where you can see for your particular program what your mentees' goals are. And if you want to see specific, so this is knowing at scale what the main intentions for students joining your program are. You can easily click into that to find out exactly which students have those particular goals. And this is a way of, again, intervening as a group. Oh, you all said you were interested in internships. Let me make sure you know about this office. I can easily communicate with you as a group. There's also, if you want to get into the details and find all those really meaningful nuggets of information, like I want to know how college works, that information is available through an export of all the matching data. And this makes it really easy to either include these data with other analyses on campus, or just look at them individually so that you can intervene. It's a simple export. It's a simple CSV export, and a really easy way of seeing how students are indicating why they're saying yes to the program and what they'd like help with. And I'll refer to that export a couple of times throughout the presentation. I'm going to pause so I can take a breath, but also so that I can say, remind you that you can ask questions in the chat. There's people there ready to answer your questions, but we'll also open up for questions at the end of this along the way. The second thing that when I have dug into the data that students want you to know about them, they're sharing this information, is that they will share their feelings of belonging. In the last 12 months, the answer to I feel comfortable at my school, which is one of the factors of belonging. Hang on, let me pause for a second and show you where this information exists in your dashboard. Also available to you and the folks who are running your program, there's an assessment tab where it will give you all kinds of information about students' responses to questions associated with non-cognitive factors. Those are sense of belonging, academic self-efficacy, academic help seeking, career readiness. These are the types of information that if they are a goal of your program, and if you are asking students questions about them, they will show up on your dashboard. You'll see each of the questions that are involved in each one of those non-cognitive factors, and in aggregate, you'll see who's responding to those questions and what as a group the overall average is. But there's also ways or reasons to intervene individually with students based on their responses. So back to the data from the past year. In response to I feel comfortable at my school, this question is asked at the beginning, the start of program survey, or at the beginning of the mentorship program. 79% agree or strongly agree that they feel comfortable at their school. This is the kind of data that makes us feel good, right? The right people are coming to school. They're feeling good about the decision they've made. I will say, if you're up on your belonging literature, which I'm sure you all are, that you should pay passive attention to this group because they're feeling really good coming in. And if one or two bad things happens to them, they can be very, very small. Their sense of belonging may crash a bit. So it's good to keep tabs on how these students are feeling, how these students are doing. The good thing is they get asked these questions in the middle of the program and at the end of the program. So we do make it easy to monitor. More importantly, 4% of the students in the past year at the beginning of the year have said, I disagree or strongly disagree that I feel comfortable at my school. This is not a huge percentage, but this is a percentage where you can make a difference in your retention numbers, right? If this is a program for 100 students, you can help those 4 students really easily. And it's easy to identify who those students are. I'm going to take you again to the dashboard. And I'm going to go to the participants tab where it has all of the students who are involved in the mentorship program. I'm going to filter down to the mentees, and I'm also going to filter down to anyone who has a sense of belonging score less than 3, meaning these are the people who said, I don't feel comfortable at my school when they responded. You'll see that very easily I can filter down, in this case, in this demo program, that there are 10 students who have a low sense of belonging. This is actionable, right? This is meaningful. We can actually click into the profile for each of these students and see what sort of life challenges they've had, what sort of academic goals they have. We can really dig into who they are as a person and maybe intervene and help them in that area of belonging along the way. What can you do? First of all, you have to know that a student is having a low sense of belonging or that there is a sense of belonging to foster. Some of the things that are noted in literature about fostering a sense of belonging is good first impressions, being seen, heard, and affirmed, making sure your culture is, or feeling like your culture is valued in the setting you're in, having a sense of agency to do things, and focus on well-being and health in general. We are aware of that literature and belonging. And some of the ways that mentorship can foster a sense of belonging is, first of all, having introduction tips for mentors to make sure that everyone gets off on the right foot and feels good about each other, or feels good talking to each other. This is also important for the faculty and staff and everyone else on campus. The matches are guided by mentee preference. So if a mentee says, I want someone with the same life challenges as I've had, they will be matched with someone who has the same life challenges. If they say, I want someone in the same academic field, they will be matched in that way. So they're heard, they're affirmed, they're listened to. There's resources and guides along the way that can be used individually or in concert with the mentor that gives them agency. There's direct support through the flags, as I mentioned before, and assessment allows for the student voice. And the goals and the questions they have can be shared with the mentors. So again, they feel seen and heard and are actually working on individual things. Those are the ways belonging can be fostered, just some of the ways belonging can be fostered through mentorship. The third thing, students have vast experiences. We probably all have in our lexicon a view of what the student who we're trying to support is. And that might be a traditional student, or it might be a student that reflects the population at your campus specifically. In the past 12 months, some of the top challenges that have been reported, the size of the circle is roughly associated with the number of students who have reported these life challenges. But look at these challenges that students have. They are parents. They have switched careers. They have had health and wellness issues. They have maybe supported their family financially. This indicates adults. This indicates people who have things to worry about in addition to the classes. And there's a lot that can be done to proactively help these students. And so when we say, how can mentorship help students when they have these life challenges, we can't necessarily provide the medical treatment if they're having a health and wellness issue. We can't necessarily watch their kids if they're parents, but we can know that they have those life challenges. And again, that's easy to find. In aggregate, you can see those life challenges in the export, but you can also filter any participant by specific challenges to know if you want to send daycare information to a certain set of participants, or whatever systems of support you have on campus that are relevant to the participants with those particular challenges. Again, there may be venues for getting this information about students in other ways, but this is a really solid venue that not only allows these participants to share the information on their own, but connects them with a mentor who may have also had those same life experiences, so they automatically have a sounding board or a friend or someone to help them navigate the challenges of it. 2 more to go. Number 4, students have interests and identities that matter to them. So in the matching survey, again, there are a number of questions about interests, who they are, what they want to do with their career, what they want to do in school in general. Some of this information is, again, relevant. Remember that goal of helping of boosting the use of other services and support systems within your student success strategy. Students will indicate if they're interested in Greek life, if they're thinking of studying abroad, if they want a career in a certain area. All of this information comes in through that matching survey and can be shared with additional stakeholders on campus, or students can be connected to other organizations or other clubs, other experiences that will help them along the way. One of my favorite interests that popped up one time in a matching survey was, I wish I would have signed up for marching band. This is a student who has a clear interest, who maybe for whatever reason didn't know when they could sign up for something that was really important to them. And the difference between someone reaching out to them and saying, hey, we'd love if you still tried out for the marching band, versus hearing a friend at a different campus who's successfully in the marching band, might be the difference between retaining that student or having that student transfer. So it's good to pay attention to what the students are sharing in these matching surveys. So what, through this, if you have a mentorship program that collects data like this, what can you do with this data? So mine the matching survey, look for those little tidbits of things that can make a difference in a student's life. Share the curated lists. Here are the students who are interested in Greek life. Here are the students who are interested in studying abroad, Office of Study Abroad. Make sure that the folks who can help students achieve those goals or those interests they have, the information gets to them. There are also micro surveys built into the platform. So if you want to say, hey, you said you wanted to get involved, are you interested in clubs and orgs? Are you interested in undergraduate research? What are you interested in? You can use micro surveys to find out that information. And then you can also promote engagement. Fostering a sense of belonging can be disciplinary, right? I can be part of the career or the subject matter, or they can be student development and personal. I want to play soccer, or I want to play chess, or I want to be part of a different club and organization. So the mentorship program can be a strong source for promoting other areas of engagement and, again, keeping students around. Finally, and I think huge return on investment in this one, students are very honest about what they will and won't do. And I want to tell you what I mean by this. There is a question that students are asked at the beginning of the year as part of the mentorship program. It's an academic help seeking question, or it's a set of questions. In the coming months, how likely is it that you will contact a career professional, email professors, meet with advisors, or meet with professors and support staff? And students are honest about this. You have access to the responses to each of these questions. And one in particular, think of how much money your campus spends on advisors, how much effort that go into advising practices, advising structure. And if students say that they are not likely to meet with their advisors, there's things that you can do to show them why that's valuable. If you are curious about how many students say, I am not likely to meet with my advisor, it is 14% of students in the past year say, I do not intend to meet with my advisor. I'm unlikely or not likely. And there's a lot we can do to help them. To be more specific, excuse me, to be more specific and to concentrate on a population that a lot of our partners focus on, some recent research and mentoring on first-generation students. When we talk about academic help seeking or reaching out to professors or reaching out to advisors, it's not that first-generation students don't understand or don't know that that's available to them, but first-generation students, according to this research, are highly strategic about help seeking because they're used to getting things done on their own. They're used to figuring out problems on their own. And it takes very specific information about who can help them and why that's significant. So something as simple, again, as a mentor or through the mentorship program, sending a message saying simple things like, did you know a bursar can help you ask questions about your tuition bill? Office hours or times to meet with your professor where you can talk about interests and the class. Sometimes these simple statements are the thing that it takes to help a student stick around, feel comfortable, feel supported by their campus. And these types of messages can be delivered through the mentorship program, either through the mentor themselves or through the platform if necessary. So I want to take a moment and just say that I didn't make all this up. I referenced several things, the sense of belonging, and how to incorporate different things for sense of belonging or foster sense of belonging, that information on first gen students. And thanks Cornell University for defining what office hours are. I appreciate that. These are just 5 things that students are being honest about, students are sharing with you, and it's really easy to intervene like I said, at scale or on an individual basis. So let me stop there because I always like to keep it under a half hour and value people's time, but also open up and see if there are any questions that I didn't see in the chat. Jen, if you want to unmute, if there's anything you want me to address or.
Sure, yeah. There's a great question there's a great question that I just wrote back in the chat, but I'd love Shannon to elevate that to you. Crystal asks, there's a login specifically for school, so students can answer survey questions online. Are the questions already created, or do we create our own questions?
Yep. So that is a good question. And this is a chance for Jen to promote the Knowledge Center that will answer these questions as well in the chat. But again, as I stated at the beginning, talking about program design is the first step in how we work with campuses. And in that program design, we'll have you identify the goals and outcomes that you want to achieve. Based on that, specific assessments that are already created will be part of your program. So if sense of belonging, academic self-efficacy, academic help seeking is really a large element of what you're trying to achieve or to know about, those questions are already set within the assessment system. So it is not a free survey design. It is, those questions are already set, again, based on design. They can change a little bit.
Hi, Shannon, this is Hank. How are you?
Hi, Hank.
Hi.
I see you.
Hi. Part of the things that I'm working on right now, we already have a mentorship program set up for the incoming freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a big, I think, void that happens when you get to the sophomore year. Because even though you may lose them in the freshman year, there are so many things going on for the freshman year, a lot of them get caught up in it, get lost, they don't get involved. So part of the program that I'm developing is to reach out to the sophomores
Mhm.
to try to get them more involved and let them know that the second year, they're not the middle child.
Yes.
So part of it, I think that I wrote to you is it's not just that they're identifying what their goals and needs are, but they also want to identify that somebody cares about them and
Absolutely.
cares for them. So the genuineness you were talking about is if they know that they can go to somebody who will help walk them to their initial appointment or to help them connect to an organization like the marching band,
Mhm.
I would think, and this is just suggestion, the mentor should not just all say, well, here's where they meet, here's how you can contact them. One of the parts of the program that we're putting in is that the mentor will say, oh, let me contact somebody in the marching band and have them reach out to you to invite you to come to their next meeting. And why don't I meet you a few minutes before we go in and just find out a little bit about you? And that way, the mentor is not becoming, they're becoming the conduit to make the connection as opposed to being the one who's escorting the person or doing everything. So I just wanted to make that point.
Yeah, I love your point, and I agree with your point. It also allows me to say two things. So part of the mentorship training, which was designed by a very good curriculum developer who might also be the host of this webinar. part of
Do you
the-
know that person? Do you have a connection with them?
Part of the mentorship training is talking about how to do things like you talked about, also to have those boundaries between what is appropriate for you to walk someone to and show them through, and what is appropriate to refer to the professionals who are designed to, or who are there to help in a specific area. So I love that you're asking your mentors to do that, and that is absolutely what we would encourage in our training and our nudges and our to help with as well. There's one other thing you said, Hank, and I love that you brought up the sophomore class. So I told you I get to dig into data every once in a while. One of the things I would love and promote, I would love to talk to more campuses about, and I promote as much as possible. I gave you in my examples today a very typical program, right? Where it's incoming students starting for the first time or transferring to an institution and being supported in their first year at the institution. What we're finding more and more, though, most students are retained until from one semester to the next semester, but it's that second summer where they tend to decide not to come back or decide that another place would be better. So programs that are either designed as you are thinking about for those sophomores, those people who are like, welcome back, we're glad you're here. This can be tough because we had a bunch of first year programming for you and we don't have second year programming for you. So we want to show you that love and support. But I actually think even starting it the spring before they leave, having just a few points of contact with someone who is in their junior or senior year to say, it's worth coming back. I can show you what it's like, or I can show you how close the graduation is. I think that timing is really important, and we're able to like flexibly support programs like that as well.
Well, it was amazing because I actually met a couple of students because one of my colleagues introduced me there with their student government. And two were juniors and one was a sophomore. So I was saying, here's what we're laying out for the sophomores to let you know we care about you. You're not just coming back and we forgot about you. And a couple of things are just pop-ups. So an ice cream pop-up that they'll register for, come and get free ice cream.
Yep.
Or one of the things we talked about is at Thanksgiving, when they register, they'll get a free little chocolate turkey for Thanksgiving, just to
Yeah.
say, do that. And the juniors turned around and said, well, are you going to do anything for us?
Where's ours? Yeah.
And I looked at them and I said, well, actually, we're thinking of doing a January junior startup where we're going to get something to hand out to you. And they started smiling and says, okay, we're going to hold you to that.
Yep.
So the idea, it's like it's like your children. All your children want to be recognized for who they are. So if you have 3 children, your oldest one holds a special place. the youngest one holds a special place, and the middle one wants to have a special place equal to those as well.
Yes. And I love those ideas of get-togethers too. So we talk about a platform and how we connect mentors and mentees and make it as easy as possible for them to communicate with each other. But those in-person, where possible, right? This works for online programs. Sometimes there's commuter schools where being in person isn't available. We want to make sure those folks are supported. But when there's those supplemental events, right? The ice cream truck is here. This is a great time for us to check in, and it happens to be at mid-semester when it's really important to talk to your mentor. So yeah, we can be very strategic about how we can communicate and support those activity at those supplemental events as well.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Hank, I don't know if you want to put your information in the chat so everyone can contact you about your great ideas.
I'll put it in there. I don't know that they're great. We're just doing it this year, so I'll have to give you an update later on.
Please do. Anyone else have any other questions? Knowing you can always follow up with us afterwards. You'll be getting the follow-up materials after this. Thank you, Hank.
You're welcome.
Jen, is there anything I missed at the end here?
No, I think that about wraps us up. Like Shannon had said, we will send a follow-up message with the recording of this, so you can go back and review anything that maybe piqued your fancy. And we'll send that message out within the next few days here as soon as we get that recording processed. And otherwise, thank you so much. This was a wonderful opportunity to connect. And thank you. Thanks again. Thank you, Shannon.